on this computer. All right, Robin. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to break down how to do a listing consultation. So the first thing that you want to do is get yourself prepared, whether you are in the office or digitally like we are right now. So the first step here is you want to have your PowerPoint open, which is the consultation. You want to have a needs analysis form. The needs analysis I'm going to break down in a second. And you want to have the MLS open with the map. So this is what the map looks like. And this is what the consultation form looks like. So you want to have the consultation and you want to have the map open and ready to use. But when the client is showing up at the very start, when the client is showing up, you want to have the presentation up on the screen.
Okay.
So this is the old presentation, and this is the new presentation. I'm going to kind of go through them piece by piece.
Okay.
All right. So the client comes in and you say, hey, I am so excited about starting your home buying process. And today is going to be all about you. The first step is I'm going to share with you exactly how I work, how my team works, and what our value proposition is to help you find the right home in the right time frame at the right price and help you find this process as smooth as possible. Once we go through our consultation, we're then going to do a deep dive into a needs analysis. And just so that you know what the needs analysis is, it is, where'd it go? It's this right here. So I'm breaking script, but this is the needs analysis, which is a deep dive into what they're looking to do. So once we go through the needs analysis, which is going to be a deep dive in what you're looking for, we then are going to, with full transparency, do a deep dive into what's available for sale in your selected areas, criteria, and create transparency with everything on the market.
Okay.
Robin, are you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
On a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being you're super excited, where would you rate yourself?
I'm a 10.
Me too. So you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Awesome. All right. So the first step is let's break down exactly what we're going to do today. So I am an accredited buyer representative. What that means is I went back to real estate school to get a master's in how to represent buyers. And I have this fancy designation at the end of my name called an accredited buyer representative. Now we're going to break down what that means. We're going to share the benefits, and we're going to talk about what the home buying process is all about. You're going to meet the team, and I'm going to share what you can do. I'm going to break down some tools. We're going to have a Q&A, and then I'm going to make it all about you, as I shared earlier, with a needs analysis of your criteria. Fair enough?
Fair.
Awesome. So let's meet the team. So first, I believe in having coaches. I'm a sports guy. Robin, do you follow sports?
Yeah, I like basketball a lot.
Yeah, and so Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird, they've all had coaches, right?
Yeah.
And you see, I have multiple coaches. Like a basketball player would have a free throw coach. They would have a strengths coach. They would have a mindset coach. I have multiple coaches, and my two coaches, it's Ralph and Lee. They've both closed over 1,600 homes in their career with an emphasis on customer service. So today, you're going to see a bit of our presentation of how we've helped so many home buyers like yourself find the right home. Now, we believe in customer service because it's not about finding the right home. It's about white glove service all the way to the finish line. And that's where Priscilla comes in. See, Priscilla is our operations specialist. So she not only helps me find the right home for you, scheduling showings and making sure that we can get you into properties, but she handles everything from contract to close. So Robin, once we go under contract, the hardest part is getting us from contract to close because of all the moving parts. We're going to talk more about that later. Fair enough?
Fair,
Now
fair.
I'm going to pause for a second. Breaking script. You see how many tie downs I'm using.
Too.
You learned about those today.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how natural it is just to keep you engaged?
I see.
Now it's being recorded, so you could go back and you can see how I've used tie downs. Okay?
Okay.
That was a tie down again.
Good point. I have a question. When you said you're breaking script, do you mean that there is a physical script for this that I have not seen yet?
Probably.
Okay.
And yet, this is being recorded so that you can go and watch it, transcribe it, listen to it, watch it, transcribe it, listen to it, and make this a canned presentation where you are literally saying the same thing to
Over and over.
every person you work with every time.
Okay.
You don't wing it. You literally are prepared. And when you speak to someone, this is what you're closing them for an appointment to do. Now, staying off script. If someone's bought this is their 7th house, and I started the presentation this way, could this be a different experience than they've ever had?
Yes.
Yeah, the way that I presented how we work. That's why you must do a consultation with a new buyer, meaning someone who's never bought before, a first-time home buyer, or someone that's bought 17 homes. Because if they don't know how we work, then you're a commodity. You're just like any other realtor. So Priscilla is our director of operations. She handles all of the process in finding the right home and scheduling showings and helping me be the best version of myself for you. And she handles the entire process from contract to close. We're going to talk more about that later. Now, we are a team and we work as a team. And so you see the other folks here that are on the team, and we all work together, hold each other accountable, all to help you have the best experience possible. Does all this make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Cool. So let's break down our system. See, we follow a 5-point buyer plan of action. See, the first step, stay on the left side. The first step is where we are right now. We do a breakdown of a consultation, where you're at in the approval process, and really come up with how much cash we have to start a negotiation, and really where you want your monthly payments, which we're going to break down in the needs analysis. Okay.
Okay.
Once we dissect the needs analysis, we're going to dive into the MLS and find the very best homes. We're going to discuss the pros and cons of everything for sale by every single real estate agent. We're going to talk about neighborhoods. We're going to talk about streets. We're going to talk about schools. We'll talk about anything that's important to you. And we're going to find the very best homes. We're going to choose anywhere from 4, 6, no more than 7 homes. And the reason that we don't look at more than 7 homes is because it's just a grueling process. 6 to 7 homes is a 3 to 3.5 appointment. Robin, do you want to be looking at homes for 3 to 4 hours?
No.
That's a long time. So we're going to choose the very best homes as part of our process. Once we write a professional offer and you have me negotiate like a bulldog, we go into what's called escrow. And that's where we will manage the 52 people. Robin, did you know 52 people are employed the moment we go under contract?
That's a lot of people.
It is, and that's a National Association of Realtors statistic. Robin, if one of the 52 people fall out of line, the deal falls apart. Now, break script. If somebody has bought a house before, if they've bought many houses before, they'll be able to relate to this because they probably had a deal fall apart. So who are the 52 people? Because you might have some smart person who wants to call you out and say, who are the 52? And you say, well, first, it's a National Association of Realtors statistic. And let's break that down. You have escrow, you have inspectors, you have appraisers, you have loan officers, you have underwriters, you have people at the city, you have permits, you have municipal, you have surveys, so many moving parts. And yet, the 52 people are a system that we have specialized in, that we maximize communication. So I'm excited to get to escrow with you. Is all this making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And now, Robin, so the first step is we want to know where we're at in the process. We want to do a needs analysis. We then want to look at the very best homes. We then are going to write a professional offer. I'm going to negotiate like a bulldog for you. Number 4, we're going to handle everyone in the process. And number 5, my favorite, I'm going to hand you the keys at closing.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. So let's keep moving, shall we?
Yeah, breaking role play, I have one small question.
Go ahead.
You said 6 or 7 homes. Is that the number you recommend all the time?
Per showing.
Okay.
Per showing. Now, we can find 20, 25 homes in our consultation.
But in one showing,
But in one showing, no more than 7. You might do 8 or 9 if it's
super close,
like a condo and you're showing a bunch inside that building.
I got you.
But you never want to show more than 7. And again, in a very outlying scenario, you might go 8 or 9. Okay. But what'll happen is they'll forget what they saw.
I see. I got you.
Everyone will start to get frustrated, especially during summer and it's hot and you're like sweating and everyone's hot. Like, you want to keep it to 6 or 7, and you could do multiple appointments, like 2-3 days in a row. Okay, great question. So once we go over the 5-point buyer plan of action, which is your unique selling proposition, we then break down what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is help you find the right house. We're going to be in your corner for negotiations, my favorite part. We're going to do a BPO, which is a broker's price opinion. So there's 2 types of value. You have market value and you have appraised value. When a property is listed, it may be listed above market. It may be listed below market, which means we may have to offer over list price. But don't worry, I'll do a BPO, which is what I feel it will sell for, so that you could be in the best position to negotiate in strength and not weakness. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Now I'm going to help you determine your nut. Now I'm going to explain what that means. It's principal interest, taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance if you need it, flood insurance if it's necessary, an HOA
If there
if
is.
it's in an HOA. So instead of going, hey, let's look at a $400,000 house or a $275,000 house, it's let's keep this nut. Let's keep this payment no matter where the house is and what its location is. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Yeah. And I'm going to break down every contract. I went to college. I love contracts. And I'm going to help you feel comfortable and confident, not only when we write an offer, but when we're going back and forth in negotiations with what each clause and each change in the contract means. And last, I'm going to help you with any financing options that will help you get the best deal possible. Robin, are you looking for the best deal?
Yes, I am.
Of course. So let's go into how the process works, what the home buying process is. Yep.
Breaking role play. So when you said, I went to college, I love contracts, could that be seen negatively? Just like either in a bragging way or like putting them down in case they didn't go to college?
So I ad-libbed because I used to say, I went to college, I went to University of Central Florida. I ran track and cross country for UCF, and I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice.
Okay.
Now, I work for the government. I made sure no airplanes exploded, but I went to school to learn how to represent. That's what you want as an agent to help you represent, correct?
Okay, I got you.
See, I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, which sounds like contracts.
Yeah.
So you can go anywhere you want with it. You don't need to say anything about that, but you could see on the left-hand side, it says B. It should be a BS, Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. And over here, it doesn't say it at all. So you don't need to say anything about it.
Okay.
Cool. So now let's break down the process. Now, if somebody's bought a home before, I'm breaking script. Someone's bought a home before, you don't need to sit and go through this process. But you do want to say certain things. So the purpose of this right now, and I'm off script, I'm explaining to you. The purpose of this is so that you can show them that in a negotiation, one of three things can happen. And you want to hammer the point home. This is really important. Hammer the point home that anytime the lender asks for anything, you have to get it to them as fast as possible.
Okay.
The third thing that you want to hammer home, whether this is a first-time home buyer or they bought 1,000 times, is that contract to close is extremely challenging.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to break this down as if you're a first-time home buyer. So today is where we are. We are meeting with you, you're meeting with me, and we're going through the consultation. So right after we do a needs analysis, we're going to start looking for a new home. When we find the right home, we're going to write an offer. When we write an offer, we then start a negotiation. Well, one of three things can happen. They can accept our offer, which means we move into escrow, where our transaction coordinator takes over. We can counter, which means it's like a volleyball match. We go back and forth and back and forth. And I ask you to please have as much patience as I do, because we can go back and forth 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Or they can reject us, where they say, thanks, but no thanks. And when that happens, Robin, we just simply go back and start the search back over, using the information that you and I just went over. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
So let's move forward as if offers accepted. The most important part of underwriting, or the most important part of the loan process, is the loan underwriter. The loan underwriter's job is to not lend you money. Just think about that. They're the gatekeeper for lending you money, which means if they need something, the faster we could get it to them, the better off we are. So if they ask for bank statements, we got to get them the bank statements. If they ask for pay stubs, we got to get them the pay stubs. If they ask for a handwritten letter, Robin, I need you to get them the handwritten letter, because they're asking for that information because they don't want to lend you money. So you have the loan underwriter, and then you have the loan officer. And the loan officer is like an attorney fighting to help you get the money, arguing with the loan underwriter who's trying not to lend you money. Does that make sense?
I see, yeah.
So all I'm asking is when they ask you for information, get it to them as fast as possible, okay?
Okay.
Sweet. We're also going to have title, and the purpose of title is to make sure that you have clean and reputable ownership of the house. And so we're going to do title searches, municipal searches. All of this is part of the process. And then you take over on the home. Any questions on the process?
I know, pretty straightforward.
Perfect. So, here's what you can do. You can go to my website. You can go to our mobile app, and you can communicate with me on all of the changes that happen in your criteria. If you want to change the criteria, I can change it over and over and over again. We can create multiple searches. If you want to do new construction, please let me know. I'll go with you. Please don't go without me. I can help you find a better deal with me than without me, okay? And if you see a for sale by owner, which is one of those little red signs that say, I'm selling it myself, get me the phone number. They'll pay my commission, and I'll help you find the best deal. Are you with me, Robin?
I'm with you.
Cool. So here's my pledge to you. I'm going to exclusively represent your interests. I am going to counsel you on your needs. I'm going to be curious. We're going to go through this over and over and over as much as we have to. I'm going to diligently find the type of property in the location that you're looking for with full transparency. I'm going to point out strengths and weaknesses of particular properties, of neighborhoods, of buildings. And I'm going to refer only the best professionals, like lenders, like inspectors, like title, like all the people that can help your process go better. If we need repairs, handymen, etc. And I will provide trust, loyalty, and confidence. So far, so good, Robin?
So far, so good.
So this is what I ask of you. I ask that you communicate. I can't read your mind. So if anything changes, just let me know. I ask for patience and work with me until we find the right home. Now, if you see any other brokers listing, if you see a for sale by owner or new construction, please let me know. And last, I ask that you decide to work with me and I decide to work with you. So I'm going to ask you to sign a buyer broker agreement, which is just an agreement for 30 days that we're going to go look for all the homes. We're going to talk things through, and we're going to write professional offers together. You ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Cool. So once they agree that they want to work with you and you want to work with them, we then move into the needs analysis, where the purpose of the needs analysis is we have this piece of paper and we say, all right, so if it's a husband and wife, so again, Bob and Jane Smith, or if it's two different names, you want to write it down. Where do you guys currently live? You want to write the home address so you could put it in the CRM. What's your best contact information, and what's your best email? Now, Robin, what's important about finding a home at this time?
We just had a couple children, so we want to have more room in our house, a bigger house.
Yeah, so we're looking for more square footage and more room to have the family grow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's break down what this next home looks like. How many bedrooms?
We just had 2 children. I like to have my own office, so let's say 4.
Cool. So remember, we're role playing, and this is going to be recorded. So just give me answers.
Gotcha.
Okay. So how many bedrooms?
4.
4 bedrooms. What's important about 4 bedrooms?
We have 2 children. I want to give them each their own room.
And your 2 kids' names?
Bob and Dylan.
And how old is Bob and Dylan?
Bob is 2 and Dylan is a newborn.
Perfect. And how many bathrooms are you looking for?
At least 3.
Okay. And would 2.5 be a deal killer?
No.
Okay. What about 2?
Depending on the house.
Of course. So we can do a search from 2 to 3 bedrooms. I mean, bathrooms.
Yeah.
Cool. Is lot size important to you? And how big and what? And tell me more about the lot size, the size of the lot.
Well, I grew up. Yeah, we want we want the kids to be able to play sports.
Okay. So we'll talk about lot size when we start looking at the properties, and I'll be looking forward to your feedback. Okay.
Okay.
Is a garage important to you?
No, as long as there's ample parking.
Cool. What does ample parking mean to you?
We have 2 cars.
Okay, so you have 2 cars and we need that to park. So parking on the street would be a turnoff.
Yeah, we like to keep everything on our own property.
Okay, fair enough. Would you be parking in the garage if there was one?
If there was one, yes.
Okay. If it was a 1-car garage, would you still park in it or you would use it as storage?
If it's a 1-car garage and had a driveway, I'd park in the garage and have my wife park in the driveway.
Perfect. And a pool. Talk to me about importance or not importance of a pool.
It's not important. If it's there, awesome. Not a turn off, but I don't need one.
Okay. Have you ever owned a house with a pool?
This is our first time buying.
Perfect. Have you ever rented a house with a pool?
No, I have not.
Okay, fair enough. Schools. Do we have an idea of school districts, schools, which schools, private, public? Talk to me about schools.
We're probably going to put our kids in Jewish school. We're Jewish. So yeah, if there's one of those around, that'd be great.
Awesome. And do you have any special needs?
No.
Awesome. So thank you for sharing all of that. What areas are you interested in? Let's talk about cities, neighborhoods. Just flow it at me. I'm going to take notes. And so you're going to say blah, 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 blah. Whatever you're going to say, I'm going to ask what's important about this. Have you ever lived here? What about here? What about that? Tell me about this. And I'm going to paint a picture of what areas you're interested in.
Okay.
Then I'm going to ask what's important about those areas, which is there. So if you found the perfect home, how much would you be willing to pay per month? Now we're going over the nut. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, flood insurance, and HOA. See, if somebody's a first-time home buyer, odds are they've rented before.
Yeah.
And when someone rented before, they know exactly what they want to spend per month. So I'm going off of the psychology of that.
Okay.
Because I want to know this number now so that when we write an offer, I can negotiate to help them get that number. It also helps me remove emotion later.
All right. I have a question. When you pre-qualify the buyer before this, you ask questions like how much you want to pay per month.
It's exactly the same thing.
You
You're
repeat
just
it?
doing it again.
Okay.
because you want to see if anything changed. If you're speaking now to the wife and you spoke to the husband earlier, if you want to get clarity that everyone is aligned.
Okay.
So what questions or concerns do you have that I could answer? What type of shopping have you done so far? I want to know what sites you've been on. I want to know what you've been doing. I want to know what you're looking at.
I've just looked
Have you
on
seen? Go ahead.
Zillow, etc.
Yeah. Perfect. And have you seen anything you liked?
Yeah, there's this one house in Fort Lauderdale that's not far from the beach. It seemed like a good idea. It was only 3 bedrooms, which I don't like because I wanted my office. But the house was really nice. So if it's really nice like that, I'm willing to consider not having an office.
Cool. So being near the beach is somewhat of a interest of yours, correct?
It's not a must, but
Cool.
I would prefer that.
Are there any other co-borrowers who would need to see the home? Are there any other decision makers?
Just my wife and myself.
Awesome, Robin. Are there any other questions or concerns you have about purchasing?
Do not.
Perfect. So we'll take the notes from this, and then we're going to flow right into the MLS. So what we'll do is we'll then have the tab open. And so now we flow right here. And whoa, I have no idea what just happened. All right. So then I'm going to go, all right. So based off the areas that we just talked about, what I'd like for you to do is walk me through multiple areas. We can create 5 different search areas. Robin, do you see this area right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I can do a radius, which means we can pick a location and you see it says miles?
Yeah.
I can do a radius of a certain amount of miles. We can just draw a rectangle, which is of a certain squared area. Or we could do a polygon, which is my favorite, which means we can search in certain shapes. So we can follow certain roads like that. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Cool. So which shape would you like to start with?
Let's do some radii.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Radii?
Radius. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the radius. And where would you like to have the start or the center of our radius?
Well, I'm very interested in Fort Lauderdale area.
Okay. So remember you saying in our criteria, you were interested in near Las Olas. So Las Olas is right here. So let's do a little radius staying under Sunrise Boulevard and do this area right here, including Flagler Village.
Like
awesome.
That.
So as you can see right here, Robin, we have 283 properties. So I want you to keep your eye on that. You see it down here, 283?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to start with the criteria. So you said you wanted 4 bedrooms and you said 2 to 3 bathrooms. Just with that criteria, Robin, you see where 283 went?
Yeah, I dropped.
Yeah. Now you said you wanted to stay under 400.
Lee, I got a question.
Hold on. Robin, how many homes do we have right now?
None.
Yeah. So now breaking script, what's your question?
How important is it to have all 3 active coming soon and active with contract when you search?
Oh, shoot. That's not supposed to be there. It's not. It's supposed to just be active. Okay. It's just supposed to be active.
All right. So now I know.
Yeah. It's not supposed to. It's just supposed to be active. I don't know why that's on there.
It happens to me too. I think it's just like a no automatic setup.
So going back to the important thing here is that they see that there's a lot of properties for sale in their area. And then you break down how real estate works. You see, Robin, real estate works this way. We get to choose 2 out of 3. The 3 choices is price, condition, location. Price, which is the price. Condition is how the property looks, but it's also, is it a single family home? Is it a townhouse? Is it a condo? And location. So if we want a certain location, which we just chose here, and we want a certain price, well, then we can't choose if it's 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, condo, single family. You with me?
Of course.
Yeah. Now, if you want a certain location and a certain condition, then we can't choose the price. Now, we're qualified for 400 and we want to keep our payments. And we want to keep our payments at a certain number, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. And so let's break this down and kind of play with it, okay?
Sure.
And then you just do this over and over and over to help them see in this area. Well, let's check this out. So 4 bedrooms with 2 to 3 bathrooms. Let's see what these 9 are. So you see what a 4-3 looks like, Robin?
I do.
Yeah. So let's see what we could do at 3 bedrooms. Look how many homes we added. What's the number?
The number is 57.
Yeah, we just added a good 40. So let's see what the range is. 5 million to 385. Look, we can find a property under 400. 1. And it's a condo. You didn't want a condo, right?
No.
Yeah. So what we just realized here, Robin, is that in the location we're looking for and the price we're willing to pay, it's just not
Feasible.
what we're able to do. So we can move to a new location where the land costs less. May I explain how this works?
Please.
Okay. So let's imagine that you are in downtown Wichita, Kansas. Have you ever been to Wichita, Kansas, Robin?
No.
Yeah. So imagine you're in downtown Wichita, Kansas, and you have a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1/4-acre lot, white picket fence, granite countertops, 24-inch tile, beautiful home. Downtown Wichita, Kansas. See, this home in today's market would probably sell for around $300,000.
Okay.
So now just imagine that you could somehow pick that up and move it to South Point, South Beach, where the cruise ships come in and out. The continuum sits on that lot. That same 1/4-acre lot on South Point, South Beach would probably sell for $100 million.
Okay.
But it's the same house. But the land just happens to cost significantly more than downtown Wichita, Kansas. So the land, Robin, in the Las Olas, downtown Fort Lauderdale area costs a lot more than Lauderhill, than Tamarack, than Hialeah. You with me?
Got you.
Yeah. So the definition of real estate is land and all the improvements done to. So when land becomes unaffordable, what happens is they put more doors on the same piece of land, which is a condo, which is vertical, a lot of doors, townhouses, 4 doors on the same piece of land, duplexes, 2 doors on the same piece of land, which makes housing affordable. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.